ladies and gentlemen. I'm Renee Springstead with Fross and Fross Wealth Management and your March 11th, 2024 market commentary. As always, please take a minute and read the important disclosures contained in this email right below the video link. So today we're going to talk about a topic that impacts us all, even though it might not seem like it to you, and that's the job market. And so you're probably thinking to yourself, if you're retired, well, what's the job market have to do with me? Well, it is a very important indicator to the Federal Reserve on the health of the economy, how many people have jobs, and whether or not they're going to continue to raise the interest rates, if they're going to go ahead and hold them steady, or if they're going to drop them like they thought that they might be able to. And so these headlines that come out about the job markets seem pretty impressive when you first take a look at them. So the headline right now is showing a pretty robust job market with the non-farm payrolls surged by 275,000 jobs in February. Pretty impressive, right? Well, until you pull back the covers and take a deeper dive into it. And when we really start looking at things, it's not quite as healthy as it seems. And one of the main reasons is we keep seeing revisions happening. So every month they'll go ahead and put out the jobs news, and then behind the scenes there'll be some revisions done to it. So the payroll figures for December and January underwent a massive revision, slashing 167,000 jobs. So that's a pretty significant correction, isn't it? And that brings February's gains down to 108,000. So really not as eye-catching as it was when originally reported. But when you really start to look closer into the data, you'll find that the private sector amounted to just 19,000 jobs after accounting for these revisions. And it seems like these revisions are becoming more and more frequent than they ever had been before. So we're not sure why the increase in these downward revisions. Originally such strong numbers come out, and then slowly and silently behind the scenes they're cut some. But then if we go ahead and take a little bit deeper look and really start looking at the civilian employment, then it is showing, and this is the civilian employment includes an adjustment for small business startups. Overall, payroll surged by 2.7 million over the past year, but the civilian employment edged up by only 0.7 million. And giving us now an unemployment rate on 3.9%. And that's pretty considerable when you think that it hasn't seen a level like that over the last 2 years. So it's still, under historic highs by a large part, but it is starting to tick up. And then when we take a look at how those job positions are, we're seeing that a large number of them are part-time jobs, and the number of full-time jobs is slowing down, and that isn't really the direction that we like to see it. In addition to that, there's 2 surveys out there. One of them is the employers survey, and that's done by the employers, how many jobs they filled, versus the household, which is people stating, answering a survey stating if they have a job or not and how much money they make. Well, one thing that's happening is there's an immigration factor where a lot of people are coming into the country, and as they start to work, if they're working illegally, they might not be raising their hand and answering those surveys at all. And so the data becomes a bit cloudy. But what we do find is the native-born people in the United States, employment with them has dropped by about 900,000 from last year, whereas our foreign-born job seekers, they have about 1.5 million jobs before. So they're adding to the job numbers. So when we're trying to figure out how the patient's health is the job market really healthy, it's kind of like checking on a patient. And so while right now there's no clear signs of recession, it's not like the job market is indicating that the patient's out there doing cartwheels. So economic risks are lurking out there. So as we talked about in our State of the Market, stick with your plan, have a plan, and know where the money that you're needing for the next year is coming from. And only time is going to tell what the true health of the economy is. So as always, thank you for watching today, and especially it's National Women's Month. So, to our Fross and Fross women out there who are always trying to learn more about investing, thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful week.